ọjọ́ àpín o ọ̀nà bàjínà jìnnà àdópin o àti sáré àdópin aré àbàtìjìyà àdópin ìyá o àti sunsun àti kan ògiri ó bá ti gbẹ̀yìn kọ́ lọ́sẹ̀ ìmọ̀ o bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o.
ilé òní gbóná káre tó ní kọ́lé ayé òní kóró padà bí bá òun o láyé náà lá ó wà títà ó fi ṣẹ́gun lójú àwọn ọlọ́tẹ̀ ẹkún àpàdá òkùnkùn májìmọ́lẹ̀ pàwọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ọjọ́ ayọ̀ tún wọlé o.
láyé kan bá ó mà ní láyé kan bá Yorùbá oníjọba lẹ̀ ẹ̀fẹ́ nìkan ó ní kẹ́yìn kọ́ lọ́tẹ̀ ìmọ̀ o.
Yé ẹ̀dìdé ìdílé bí ológun ẹ bá jàgbá sílẹ̀ o ẹran tí a tọmọdọmọ onísùnwà kò ní rẹ̀ wá bá ó fi ṣẹ́kù lẹ́ni tó dé ó sọ́jú ẹni pínlẹ̀ ń bọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ò ní ní dúró ẹ̀dúró pọ̀n ẹ̀dúró pọ̀n ẹ̀dúró pọ̀n 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 àtùpà tó ní pọ̀n yóò bí ẹ bá sùn ẹgbẹ́ ọjọ́ ayọ̀ tún náà dé o.
Tí a bá kú tí a bá jí àwọn mẹ́rin rí fẹ́ràn ẹni bá ṣàìsàn kò ní yóò lè mọ iye àlàáfíà. Bí a bá ṣaláìní ká tó wálé a ó mọ iye bàbá mojoojúmọ́ jẹun adára. Ó dé bá sí Yorùbá tí í ṣe ọmọ Odùduwà bàbá mi òkè gàgàgà tí í ṣe léṣe lẹ́yìn àṣòótọ́. Ọ̀yọ́ Ìbàdàn Oǹdó Ìjẹ̀ṣà Ilé Ifẹ̀ o.
Bá ohun alóore Odùduwà ló ń pè.
Àkúrẹ́ Ọ̀wọ̀ Ìkàrẹ́ Òwẹ̀yìn Èkìtì Ẹ̀gbóhùn Ìgbé o.
Bá ohun alóore Odùduwà ló ń pè.
Ìbàràpá Ilé Ẹ̀gbádò ẹ̀yìn Ọ̀ṣun Ẹ̀gbóhùn Ìgbé o.
Bá ohun alóore Odùduwà ló ń pè.
Ẹ̀yin Ìjẹ̀bú ọmọ Àlárẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn Ẹ̀gbá ọmọ Ìṣàbí.
Bá ohun alóore Odùduwà ló ń pè o ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ọjọ́ ayọ̀ tún wọlé o. Kẹ̀lẹ́ ni yóò máa fẹ́, kẹ̀lẹ́ ni yóò máa fẹ́, kẹ̀lẹ́ ni yóò máa fẹ́, kẹ̀lẹ́ ni yóò máa fẹ́. Àsíá o, Yorùbá nation, kẹ̀lẹ́ ni yóò máa fẹ́.
Àgbègbè dodo kò ní lè mọ́rẹ̀lé. Àgbègbè dodo kò ní lè mọ́rẹ̀lé. A kì í sọ̀rọ̀ èrò káyọ̀. Ìwárí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ pẹ́ bóyá dandan. Bó ti wù kó ní darí ọpẹ́ ládùn ní òrìbó. Àsíá Yorùbá nation yóò máa fẹ́ lẹ́lẹ́ ní. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá jákèjádò àgbáyé ilé yá. Kábọ́ kò lóko ìsìnrú. Kábọ́ kò lọ́wọ́ ìjẹgàba. Kájáde kò nínú ìgbéyàwó pákáleke fùrọ̀ǹdán. Ìfẹ̀tọ́ ẹni dunni. Ìjínigbé. Ìṣekú orógbàgbé sáàlà. Ìfipábánilòpọ̀ nílẹ̀ wa. Olówó ẹni ọ̀bá mọ̀ pélé yá. Ó yẹ kí wọ̀fà ó síwọ́ oko ríro. Ó tó gẹ́ ọmọ lẹ́fì. Alùbàtà ò tún gbọdọ̀ dárí mọ́. Ká máa yín mú ká máa sófè. Wọ́n máa rẹwà jẹ ká tó máa pé tí wọ́n ń ṣe lọ́dà. Ẹnu ọ̀ni lọ ní mọ́kọ méje. Ìdí nìyí tá a fi gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ti ń bẹ ní United Kingdom. Pé kẹ́ ẹ̀ túyáyá kẹ́ ẹ̀ túyáyà. Láti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa fún ìwọ́de ìta gbangba. Ọmọ Yorùbá Iléyá London Rally. Tó máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ kìíní oṣù kẹwàá. October 1st ní British Broadcasting Corporation tó wà ní 201 Wood Lane W127TG London. Ilé ti yá gbogbo wa ẹja rẹ̀ lé wa. Ọ̀pọ̀ ní Súfì Yagilóko. Ọ̀pọ̀ gìrì ẹsẹ̀ ní Yẹ̀nà. Ọ̀pọ̀ ikán ní Mọ̀lé. Ọ̀pọ̀ oyin ní Safara. Ọ̀pọ̀ èrò àsìmágìyàn. Akíkanjú kan ò lè dógun sẹ́. Bí ọ̀bá sálátìlẹ́yìn fún. Igbó àdùmọ̀jọ́ ní gbayì. Wíwọ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ igbó àlèkàn ló wọlé. Ọmọ Yorùbá Iléyá London Rally. Àjọ wà ń bẹ̀ ni. Olùkéde Yorùbá Nation Global Directorate. Fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní United Kingdom.
kọ́nílé mo kálejò mo kí lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé lágbà mo kí yín káàkiri gbogbo bí tẹ́ bá ti wò mí wọ́n ti wọ́n mi pé kíkí yẹn ń pọ̀ jù kí iye fi bẹ́ẹ̀ kí àwọn èèyàn mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n dandan ni ká respect ká sì identify gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń bá wa wo ètò yìí mo sì dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run Ẹlẹ́dàá ọba tó tún gbà mí láyè lónìí láti wá sí ojú ìwòran yín Ọlọ́run náà ni mo dúpẹ́ fún o mo wá bí Ọlọ́run kó fún mi lẹ́mìí gígùn àtàlàáfíà ká lè jọ gbádùn ara wa pẹ́ títí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò mí káàkiri ayé mo kí yín o tó lónìí kì í ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ tó pọ̀ ní tá a wá bára wa sọ àmọ́ àwọn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tèmi rí òun náà ni mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa jọ gbéyẹ̀wò tẹ́ bá gbàgbé mo sọ fún wa lánàá nípa Chike Akuili ọkọ olóògbé Dora Akuili tí àwọn agbénipa tí wọ́n yìnbọn mọ́ ní ìjẹta tí wọ́n sì pa á sọ nípa bí wọ́n ti ṣe pa ọkùnrin yìí nígbà tó ti ń súkàbọ̀ fún ayẹyẹ kan tí àwọn Alumni Association Nigeria University tí wọ́n ṣe fún ìyàwó rẹ̀ tó sì rèé ṣojú ìyàwó rẹ̀ torí obìnrin náà ti dolóògbé wọ́n sì fún ìyàwó ní ìtàpè ní posthumous award ìyẹn ni pé àmì ẹ̀yẹ tí wọ́n máa ń fún ẹni tó bá ti kú ṣùgbọ́n tó fi dáadáa lẹ̀ lọ sáyé ọkùnrin yìí ni ó lọ ṣojú ìyàwó rẹ̀ àti ọmọ ẹ̀ kan ọmọ yìí pẹ̀lú bàbá wọ́n jọ pínyà nígbà tí wọ́n gba àmì ẹ̀yẹ ìtàn ọkọ sì lọ sí Anambra ó kó ọlọ́pàá lẹ́yìn òun náà sì wà nù mọ́tò àmọ́ kò pẹ́ kò jìnnà bí wọ́n ti wo Anambra gangan ló di pé àwọn agbénipa ni wọ́n yìnbọn mọ́ arákùnrin wọ́n pa àwọn security ẹ̀ wọ́n sì pa òun náà pípa òun náà nìkan kọ́ wọ́n wọ bọ́lẹ̀ láti inú mọ́tò arákùnrin náà ni mo fẹ́ fi ṣíde tòní Yorùbá ní ojú ikú tó ń pa ẹni ikú tó ń pojú gba ẹni òwe ní pamọ́ ni èyí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nílùú Nàìjíríà tá a wà yìí fi hàn wá wípé ohun tí wọ́n ń pè ní security òdo ni o òdo lórí òdo ọ̀rọ̀ ti di ọ̀rọ̀ kí ọlọ́múdọ́mù yẹ́ gbé nísìn nílùú ìta wà yìí irú àwọn tí wọ́n wà nípò gíga bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ti lè di nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé security ò ti sún fúrú wọn kí ló wá tó kù àfikún lọ́dún kó ní kálukú ya sásá bí Ọlọ́run ọba Ẹlẹ́dàá ká máa bẹ lọ́run kó fìṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ wa lókù o torí tá a bá lọ gbọ́kànlé tàwọn ológun àbá gbọ́kànlé security kan irọ́ tó tóbi ni gómìnà Anambra Willie Obiano gómìnà yìí bọ́ síta láàárọ̀ yìí ó sì wá sọ pé òun gbé owó tùlùtùlù tí a mọ̀ sí 20 mílíọ̀nù sílẹ̀ o fún ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá mọ̀ nípa àwọn tí wọ́n pa olóògbé ọkọ Akuili tí a mọ̀ sí Mr. Akuili tàbí Dr. Akuili Dr. Chike Akuili nítorí ìdí èyí ó ti gbé owó tùlùtùlù sílẹ̀ wípé dandan àfi kí àwọn rí fìdí kókò àwọn kan láwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ pro Biafra ni wọ́n pa wọ́n àwọn kan sọ pé Fúlàní agbénipa ni èyíkéyìí tó jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ mo mọ̀ páṣírí fẹ́ túná láìpẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ̀sí sọ pé kódà kọ́mẹ̀ntì tí mo rí gbà lórí fídíò tàná ó tó 50 lórí wípé àfi kí n máa sọ èdè English díẹ̀díẹ̀ kí n máa bá wọn tún tí mò ń sọ díẹ̀díẹ̀ tó ta sáwọn létí àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí àwọn fẹ́ máa gbọ́ àmọ́ àwọn ò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́ Yorùbá pàápàá jùlọ fún àǹfààní àwọn tí wọ́n wà l'Amẹ́ríkà kí n jọ kí n máa bá wọn sọ English díẹ̀díẹ̀ èmi náà máa ṣàmúlùmọ́là torí èmi náà gbóyìnbó bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ń wò mí yìí òyìnbó díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni mo gbọ́ ìwé mélòó mo wá kà mélòó ní ìwé mi bá ní máa sọ òyìnbó ẹ̀fẹ́ lébi kó ń di prógrámù yìí rè ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo nǹkan tí gọ́fúnà Willie Obiano tí wọ́n sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ pípa tí wọ́n pa Dr. Chike Akuili mò ń bọ̀.
Dear Nambra, it is on a very sad note that I address the state today to condemn in very strong terms the violence that has been witnessed in my state in the past few days. Since last weekend, some armed persons have unleashed terror with sporadic attacks on innocent citizens in various parts of the state. From the briefings I have received from security commanders, officers of some political parties and branded campaign vehicles and individuals occupying them have been attacked with killings and burning of vehicles observed. Other innocent road users have become victims of this menace, with many losing their lives and others their properties. Between Sunday 26 and yesterday 28 September 2021, attacks on citizens at Oko, Agolo, Obosi, Mpo, Nobi, Newi, and other places have left about 10 people dead, including an illustrious son of this state, Dr. Chike Akunyili, husband of the late Dora Akunyili, who was reportedly gunned down yesterday around Mpo. These are our own people dying every day, and for what reason? In the Anambra, these attacks and accompanying deaths cannot be justified and must stop now. I have therefore conducted an extensive security meeting and have directed all security agencies to step up and confront this monster ravaging our land. I charge everyone involved in the security architecture of Anambra State to take very seriously this threat to our livelihood and boldly rise to confront him. Everything that needs to be done will be done, and no stone will be left unturned in this effort. My directive to this effect is clear, and I urge every security personnel on duty in Anambra State to do his utmost best to secure our people. To all citizens of Anambra State and every person living and doing business in our state, I urge you now to join forces with us to confront this common enemy. We cannot condone this savagery for any reason whatsoever. I therefore call on all our youths in the state to rise up and protect our communities. Traditional rulers, president generals, the clergy, vigilante groups, and all leadership structures must now take responsibility and, in conjunction with the police, military, and other law enforcement agents, work to restore order immediately. To reinforce our commitment and seriousness to this issue, I, on behalf of the state government, wish to announce a 20 million reward for any useful information leading to the arrest of the perpetrators of these heinous acts on our state. The people behind this must be unmasked and brought to book. I urge citizens to report to us anyone bearing firearm who is not a security or vigilante personnel, so we can deal with this monster once and for all. At this point, I wish to most heartily condole with the families of all those who have lost their loved ones in the course of these senseless attacks. I promise you that we will leave no stone unturned in getting justice for them. May their souls rest in peace.
And Governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, has placed a 20 million naira bounty on the perpetrators of the gruesome killing of Dr. Chike Akunyili, husband of the late former Director General of NAFDAC, Dora Akunyili. The governor said the sum will be awarded to anyone who is able to provide useful information to track the killers. And former governor of the state, Peter Obi, has challenged stakeholders in the southeast to rise to the occasion and support efforts to contain the rising cases of insecurity in the region. He spoke at Agulu in Anocha local government area of Anambra State after a closed-door meeting with a traditional ruler in the wake of the killing of Dr. Akunyili.
It calls a collective attention of all stakeholders. All stakeholders. From the people in government, people in traditional institutions, the president generals of communities, everybody has to come together. This is something that if not controlled, will consume everybody.
It was terrible to me to understand that such a thing will take place. He's one who doesn't know Chike. A very lovely man. He doesn't harm anybody. He's a very good man. and see what happened to him now. It's a situation, I don't know.
You agree, it's finished. We are finished. We lost, it's a big loss to Ndago and the Anambra in general.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà. Òun náà lẹ́gbọ́n tí gọ́fúnà yìí sọ yìí. Fáǹfààní ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní kí n máa sọ English díẹ̀díẹ̀. What we are trying to say is that after the death of Dr. Chike Akunyili, the state governor came out and put a ransom of 20 million naira on anybody that can fish out the killers. So far, that is what we've been saying, and we show a video now that shows where the governor made the broadcast. So far, that is where we are. Láti lè fi yé wa wípé nílùú yìí, I must confess to you, our security is zero. Nínú constitution Nigeria, wọ́n sọ pé there is a section there in Nigeria constitution that says the major and the primary duty of anybody that is in position of governance is security of the citizenry that he is governing. That is the major and the primary duty of anybody that is leading or that is ruling, be it president or governors or local government chairman. Ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá jẹ́ olórí nínú òfin tó wà nínú òfin Nigeria, I think it is section 4 subsection 1. Mi ò lè sọ bóyá mo gbà, mi ò kìí ṣe lawyer. Èyí tó fi ń sọ ni pé ojúṣe gbòógì tí ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá jẹ́ olórí, bóyá ní state ni o, ní federal tàbí local government, ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá jẹ́ olórí, ojúṣe gbòógì tó ní ó ní security, ààbò fún àwọn tó ṣe olórí lé lórí. Ṣùgbọ́n lónìí ìbànújẹ́ ló jẹ́ fún ni wípé àwọn agbénipa ń gbénipa lọ́tún gbénipa lósì, kódà àwọn security fúnra wọn wọ́n ń gbé wọn. Kí ló tún kù? Police station go safe, army barrack go safe, ẹjọ́ mo ló tún kù lẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ẹlẹ́dàá nìkan. Àwọn army wọ́n wọ ọ̀dọ̀ wọn lọ bó ṣe wù wọ́n ni tí wọ́n ń gbé wọn. Àkókò gbọ́n tó ṣe lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta yìí, Nigeria Defence Academy. Wọ́n wọ́ bẹ̀ lọ, wọ́n pa mẹ́jọ kan, wọ́n tún gbé kan lọ láìpẹ́ ìlú wọn ní yẹn gbálẹ̀. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé àwọn police station káàkiri àwọn yóò tiẹ̀ ló kà. Kódà odidi headquarter police station, wọ́n á wọ́ bẹ̀ lọ, wọ́n á dọ̀yà há wọn, wọ́n á pa àwọn èèyàn bó, wọ́n á pa àwọn ọlọ́pàá bó ṣe wù wọ́n, wọ́n á dẹ̀ gbébọn wọn sá lọ. Bákan náà tún ni pé àìmọye civilian tí wọ́n ti gbé, tí wọ́n ti pàdánù, tó jẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá pe àwọn olófin, àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ pọ́n láwọn aláàbò òlu, wọ́n láwọn ń bọ́ ẹni ṣòro, àwọn kan bẹ̀rù wọn. Ipò tá wà nílùú yìí rè nísìnyí. Ìlú kan jẹ́ Ìrágbìjí ní Ọ̀ṣun state. Láìpẹ́ yìí ni àwọn agbénipa yìí lọ síbẹ̀. Bámúrọ̀bà ṣe ń ṣe tiẹ̀ làwọn agbénipa nígbà tí ò sáàbò. Wọ́n kọ́kọ́ gba police station lọ, wọ́n lọ dọ̀yà àwọn police station. Wọ́n pa gbèjègbèjọ. Ìyẹn ní kọ́kọ́, wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá gba báǹkì lọ. Wọ́n pa tú tó wù wọ́n, ìtú méje tí ọdẹ ń pa fún ẹran nígbó, wọ́n pa fún wọn ní báǹkì yìí. Wọ́n tó wá sọ confidently láàrin ìlú, wọ́n ní wọ́n múfù láti bìkan sí bìkan lọ́sàn-án gan, tí wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá tó bẹ̀ nù yín ẹ kó bọ́ síta tó bá fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ òun ṣòfò. Ọkùnrin tó bá fẹ́ kí ìyàwó òun sunkún òun, bàbá tó bá fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ òun sunkún òun, kó bọ́ síta o, kó wá kojú wa. Wọ́n ní kò sí. Ṣé àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó tẹ̀ ti kọ́kọ́ lọ́dọ̀ ya ha tí wọ́n ti pàpàkùpà ni wọ́n tún fẹ́ jáde? Láti lè fi yé wa pé in tí wọ́n ń pè ní ètò ààbò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí òdo ni. Kò sí ètò ààbò nílùú yìí rárá. ohun tí wọ́n dùn nísìn tó kun àwọn oníbàwọn làwọn ṣe fẹ́ padà sípò 2023 wọ́n dẹ̀ pa ọmọ ìlú wọ́n pa gbèdégbèdọ wọ́n jókòó kí wọ́n ronú wípé báwo la ṣe lè dáàbò bò lú yìí kó wọlé kí wọ́n kó ná àìṣòdodo àìṣẹ̀tọ́ láàrin àwọn ológun náà bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ò ṣe trust wà nù wọn èyí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ìràgbìjí rèé o mo fẹ́ ká lọ wò ó.
Iragbiji, the capital of Borikpe local government area and hometown of Governor Isiaka Oyetola of Osun State. On Tuesday evening, armed men in their numbers stormed the town, attacking the Borikpe Divisional Police Headquarters and a commercial bank, both in close proximity to the Palace of the King. The effect of the attack is visible at both locations. Shattered door, damaged roof, and the tires of the armored personnel carrier deflated. These officers patrol the town for any eventualities.
The most unfortunate of it is that the armed robbers they have their free day because no police attack them. You don't even send any police around. They walk up and down, they song, they talk, they yap. So they said that whoever want to die can come out. So they are come here to kill anybody that is want to start on their way.
In recent time, Osun State has been experiencing security challenges ranging from thuggery to kidnapping and armed robbery. Between March and September 2021, there have been at least 4 cases of armed robbery in Okuku, Ikire, Ire, and the recent being Iragbiji, claiming lives of indigents and policemen, with huge amounts of money being carted away.
Despite what we are doing to curtail all these things, it still occurred yesterday. But I am assuring the members of the public that it's not going to repeat itself any longer.
This development has dealt a blow to security operatives, and residents are worried about having to travel to the state capital for any bank transactions.
ẹgbẹ́ tí bàbá yẹn wí ó ní lọ́sàn-án gan àwọn ọlọ́pàá yìí àwọn agbénipa yìí àwọn olè alọ́kọ́ kígbe wọ́n ọpẹ́rẹ́tì wọ́n dẹ̀ tún sọ pé anybody tó bá tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kó bọ́ síta táwọn ọmọ ò bá ní fojú sunkún ẹ̀. This country has no security anymore. Our security, the rating is now 0%. I say 0, not even 1%, 0%. Because those that are supposed to secure us has no security also. The bandits, the armed robbers, they do go to their bases and kill them at will. They kill police at police stations. They kill army in their base, in the barrack, without any fear. Because they know they are on top now. They are on top of the situation. They know they can kill at will. Nobody will arrest them. Nobody will do anything for them. And the government of the day has no will to arrest these people or to incriminate them. They saw what they are doing so far as a normal thing. That was exactly what happens at Iragbiji. They went there, they operated free of charge during the day. That was the video we just showed now. You heard what that man said. He said during the day, these armed robbers were operating freely without any fear at all. They were even saying anybody that wants his children to become an orphan should come out and face them. Because they know they can do it and go scot-free. Nobody would dare face them. The person will turn to cops. First of all, before they started, they went to a police station and destroyed everything there. They carted away a lot of weapons. You can see their ammunition. They punctured the tire. This is the kind of life we are using. This is the kind of security we are having in this country. I can rate the security as 0. security ìlú yòdó ni àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n lóríṣiríṣi wá pé government wọ́n ń pa kúkúrú wọ́n ń pa gbogbo wọ́n ń pọ̀ tó wọ́n ń pòsì kódà àwọn senate gbogbo pa àwọn senate gan wà ní newspaper lẹ́ni pé àwọn senate gan ti lọ bí government léèrè pé ìwọ Mr. President incriminate àwọn Arab proscribe wọn as terrorist group the so-called Mietiala, the so-called bandits ẹ má jẹ́ ká pè wọ́n bandits mọ́ à ń pọ́n wọn lé ní bandits tá à ń pè wọ́n àwọn ẹni lójoojúmọ́ ni wọ́n threaten àwọn èèyàn fún security. There is no security in this country anymore. Ẹ jẹ́ ká pè wọ́n lórúkọ tó yẹ wọ́n by calling them terrorists. Àwọn senate sọ ti wọn. Mo wá ní àwọn videos oríṣiríṣi tó ní kálukú sọ lórí wípé terrorists should be, these people should be called terrorists. That is the name we should give to them. The senator said it this morning now. I saw it in the newspaper today that the Senate has asked Mr. President to proscribe the bandits, the Mietiala and Co. As a terrorist, they should name them. So far, they have named IPOB as terrorists. They should be named as terrorists also. They are terrorist group, nothing but terrorist group. The act of terrorism is what they are carrying out. They've held the country to ransom. Ọmọdé ò lè rìn bó ṣe wù, àgbà ò lè rìn bó ṣe wù, kódò olówó gan tó tún ká mì sẹ́yìn, ìpakúpa ni wọ́n máa pa wọ́n. Ẹ̀kí ló tún wá kù. Mo gbọ́ láti ibì kan pé ọkọ Dora Akunyili tí wọ́n pa yẹn, wọ́n ní wọ́n rò pé olóṣèlú ni. Gbà tó ti rí àmì, tó ti rọ́lọ́pàá nínú mọ́tò ẹ̀, wọ́n rò pé olóṣèlú náà ṣe fáyẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ni ó ṣàánú wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n kọ̀ọ̀kan yìí sọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ pípé Mr. President láti sọ fún wọn wípé àníṣe àwọn agbénipa yìí ẹ pè wọ́n lórúkọ tó yẹ wọ́n, ẹ pè wọ́n terrorist. Ọ̀dọ̀ fídíò kan ni máa fi parí ẹ̀ o níbi tí arákùnrin kan ti ń defend wọn pé ẹ má pè wọ́n terrorist ṣùgbọ́n àwọn nǹkan tó sọ náà ò ní mínì mo fọlọ́ búra àwọn tó excuse to give láti pé kí wọ́n bá máa pè wọ́n terrorist excuse tó túbọ̀ fi dáràn sí ni.
Yeah, good morning, Channels team, and good morning, my fellow commentators, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on board here. Well, I've been sorry I joined in late. I was having some technical issues, but so I was able to get all the comments from my colleagues out there. Be that as it may, what I'd like to say here is that I'm very, very aware of the issue, the topical one right now, where the senator has called for the declaration of all these sects as terrorists. I want to say here that this is really long overdue. It's long overdue. I did propose, I remember back in 2009 at a Senate presentation to the House of, to the Senate Committee on Security back then, both the Senate and the House of Representatives in 2009. Yes, I believe that. Yeah, that it's what we need to do is to promulgate a law such that terrorists, the punishments, anybody found guilty of any act of terrorism, the punishment should be death, and especially if such act has led to the loss of life. You know, I think the problem we have is enforcement. I mean, talk is cheap, you know, and we can see what is happening now. The terrorist is just next door and is ready to strike anyone. Now they've started moving now. We've had cases whereby former ministers, National Assembly members and their families, they have been kidnapped. Even in Lagos now. That used to be, you know, it wasn't as pronounced, but that's almost become a daily thing now. People have been kidnapped. Like Captain Aliu said, it is high time we call a spade by its real name. Let's not play the ostrich. We have done it for so long. We do really need to. And I am glad that the Senate has come out to ask Mr. President, to declare all these sects. Because what happens here is that it's just a thing of nomenclature. When it's convenient for them, they call themselves herdsmen. When it's convenient for them, they call themselves bandits. When it's convenient for them, they become kidnappers.
Well, gentlemen,
all these acts,
yeah,
all these acts are acts of terrorism. If you really look at the definition, because they terrorize. So let the law be promulgated such that if you contravene or if you are caught in that act, then you are dealt with accordingly. And aside that, I also want to propose that all these militant groups, there must be a total proscription, just like the IPOB has been proscribed and branded terrorists. The same thing should apply to every other group. Every other group. We must not take chances. We're just sitting down and our country is being turned into a country where anything can go. Anybody can just wake up and want to take the law into their hands. And we must do less of legal gymnastics here. We must take the bull by the horns.
We'll talk about
good for the country.
Mr. Abila, being former operations person with the police, is it, I mean, just as you heard Captain say, is it something that pretty obvious? It's just more like, what are we doing? Could it be that we haven't seen all this while? So does it change? What changes? First of all, give us your impression. Should it be or shouldn't it be?
The bandits, as we describe them, are definitely people who have some ideology that has to do with creating apprehensiveness, testing the capability of the security, and also going after members of the public and create fear in them and apprehension, preventing them from carrying out their daily activities. And these people kidnap, these people, terminate people's life. They go after the resources of the country, particularly the mineral resources, get them out and use them. And so bandits are a group that has really hit this system and also trying to try the ability and the test. They want to test how far the security agencies could go. And so they've earned the qualification to be described as terrorists.
So does it then mean, if you could give us a little bit of insight into how some of these things work while you were in service, don't security agencies come up with certain reports which they pass on, upstairs concerning their suggestions and recommendations? And if they do, could this have been one of the recommendations that might have been done all that time?
No, even when you declare them terrorists, you still have to get the security agencies united and get them on their toes. Declaring them a terrorist does not actually solve the problems, but I think too that a massive deployment of the security apparatus that we have in this country, whether it is the military, whether it is the Nigerian police, whether it is the civil defense and other security agencies, we also need to send in a lot of intelligence individuals to feed us with the information, to mix up with the community who sees all this crime and criminality happening at their doorstep. I think what we need to do is to increase the tempo of operation by also making available the logistics and the equipment that these security agencies need. There is a gap in funding operations of these people. And if we really bring them together, because when we synergize, there's likelihood of a checks and balance that will be so robust that will prevent these people from going far beyond where they are. And so I think that the security agencies must double their effort. They must also go back to the drawing board. And synergy is very important. When you synergize, then it means that there is division of labor, and then assignments are shared. And if also the intelligence group of the security agencies in this country also move out, they have a lot of intelligence, they have a lot of information as to what happened, and the community definitely are ready to tinker with them, and also to give information and intelligence freely. And so I think that we have to go back to find out what have we done wrong. Is it the funding, or is it the program for operation, the operation order that is being directed? And I think that we have to do that quickly, because these criminals are testing the ability of our security agencies to see how far they could go.
Good morning. Eventually, I think the chicken is coming to roost. At this point, if you asked me, I don't think we should be branding bandits as terrorists, okay? We shouldn't, really. We should look at it conversely now. They have earned the right to be terrorists. You know, if you want to brand them as terrorists, it's an understatement. If you look at terrorism from whatever angle of the spectrum, you discover that these guys have ticked off successfully every single nuance of terrorists. If you look at the cost of violence and its impact on our GDP, you find out that these guys have earned themselves a place there too. The cost of violence is simply the expenditure we are putting in. And, okay, let me relate with the viewer. Take, for example, one of the costs of violence is the loss of lives to our soldiers. So if we were to do a little bit of mathematics, how much does it take to train one soldier? Could be a general, could be other rank, just one soldier. How much does it take to train him? Just training. Forget about the cost of sustaining such a person on the field when his career starts, just the cost of training such a person. Then we talk about other things like ordnance. We talk about other things like medicals, everything he has to do just to come out of that factory. Let's use that alone. Let's forget about the salaries he earned up and up to the point he was killed. What quantum of money is involved per one soldier? What's the unit cost of training one soldier? And what's the economic importance of a bandit? If you look at it from that perspective, you discover that these bandits are expendable. They're expendable. They're not adding to, they are taking out from our economic prospects. There has been social costs, there have been psychological costs, there have been cultural costs, there have been, you name it. And then we now say we want to call them terrorists. Honestly, in all fairness to them, they have earned the right to be terrorists.
So, ẹ káàbọ̀ padà. Ẹni tó sọ̀rọ̀ pé kí wọ́n má pè wọ́n ní terrorist, ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó yà mí lẹ́nu láti gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n kí lẹ̀yin rí gbọ́ nínú tèmi gbọ́ bóyá mi ní ìdẹ̀gbò fídíò yẹn dáadáa. But gbogbo excuse tí wọ́n give tí wọ́n fi ní pé wọ́n terrorist group, èmi ò rí nǹkan kan mú bẹ́ẹ̀. Ju pé wọ́n túbọ̀ fi sọ̀rọ̀ nípa aburú táwọn terrorist yìí ṣe ni. Èrò mi kò fẹ́ pé wọ́n bandit mọ́. Mi fẹ́ pé wọ́n bandit mọ́. Wọ́n á pa kúkúrú, wọ́n á pa gúngùn, wọ́n á pa ọkùnrin, wọ́n á pa obìnrin. Àṣírí kan dẹ̀ lè mímọ̀ tó wà ńbẹ̀. Mo rántí dáadáa ní 2014, towards the end of 2014, nígbà tí àwọn ọmọ Igbo tí wọ́n dín pàpá against Bubu tó wà ńbẹ̀ sí nígbà tó fẹ́ dìbò. I could remember vividly then that in 2014, towards the end of 2014, at the verge of conducting the election in 2015, I can remember that the Igbos, the South is generally, the southern part of Southeast and South, they decided never, and they made vow never to vote for Bubu. I can remember that Miyetti Allah came out then and promised Mr. President 4 million votes then. He said Mr. President should not worry, that surely Bubu will surely win the election because they've already prepared 4 million people to vote for him. I can remember then. So if 4 million people, if 4 million voted for someone that impacted in his winning, what do you think will happen? The person will not see anything bad in that group anymore. Tí èèyàn 4 million mo rántí dáadáa wípé ní 2014 nígbà tó kù ṣàṣàká dìbò 2015 tí àwọn Igbo tí wọ́n sọ pé láíláí àwọn ò ní dìbò fún Bubu láńlọ́ọ̀dù Àbújá tán láwọn ò ní dìbò fún. Mo rántí pé Miyetti Allah jáde gbà yẹn wọ́n wá sọ pé àwọn ní 4 million votes fún Mr. President tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ sí. Wọ́n láwọn lè yan 4 million lẹ̀. Nígbà tí èèyàn 4 million dìbò fún yàn tó fi kún ìbò tó sì jẹ́ pé ìbò tó fi kún yẹn náà pẹ̀lú ìbò tó fi wọlé, ṣáwọn ènìyàn aṣàbúrú aṣọ pé òun rí wọn. Ẹnu ti jẹ́ dòdò tí ò lè sọ dòdò mọ́ nìyẹn. Ó ní tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, ìyà yìí ní Yorùbá jẹ lọ́wọ́, ìyà Nàìjíríà jẹ lọ́wọ́ yìí. Ìyà wípé àwọn ẹni ìdìbò fún mi, ẹ̀yin mọ́rọ̀ agreement tí wọ́n jọ rí kan tó dìbò yẹn, because wèrè tí mọ̀ pé àwọn ará bíi wèrè ni mo sọ, ó mọ̀ pé ará bíi terrorist ni wọ́n, but Mr. President refused to name them as terrorist group. He refused to proscribe them nítorí oore tí wọ́n ṣe. That is just the secret behind it. Ẹ wo gbogbo ìpè tí àwọn ènìyàn ń pè, ẹ wo analysis táwọn ènìyàn give, video tẹ̀wò tọ́ yìí, look at the analysis they gave so far. But ẹ má jẹ́ kí n tọ̀ yìí, àti ti Senate àti tàwọn ènìyàn wọ́n kàn sọ tiwọn lásán ni, toró dé mi lójú pé tán bá tiẹ̀ máa name Miyetti Allah terrorist group, mi ìrọ̀pá administration ìlú máa jẹ́, kò dé mi lójú débẹ̀. Ẹni jẹ́ dòdò, ẹnu ò lè sọ dòdò. Àwọn 4 million votes tẹ̀wá ń ta wá sọ yìí o, ẹ lọ wo àwọn wo ni. Àwọn ọmọ underage tí wọ́n gbà láyè ní north láti register, ọmọ ọdún 3, ọmọ ọdún 5, ọmọ ọdún 8, ọmọ ọdún 10, less than 18 children. Wọ́n pọ̀ bìbà gan nílẹ̀ Haúsá, ẹ lọ Kánò láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù náà máa gbábọ́ kiri tó máa ṣàlàyé kí àyè bẹ́ẹ̀ bá róúnjẹ tẹ́ ẹ jẹun kù, bóyá ẹ jẹun yẹn lọ́wọ́ ẹ wá fẹ́ mú omi, tẹ́ ẹ bá lè dìde pẹ̀pẹ̀ ẹ lè bóúnjẹ yín mọ́. Àwọn máa láì kí àyè lèmi máa ń pè wọ́n. Kíá ni wọ́n máa gbé oúnjẹ yẹn, wọ́n pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bìbà tí wọ́n bí wọn kalẹ̀ tí wọ́n tọ́ wọn. They are in their thousands. Irú àwọn ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wá rẹni fún wọn ní 1,000. Wọ́n á kó voters card lé wọn lọ́wọ́, wọ́n wà nílọ dìbò. Àwọn ọmọ yẹn ni wọ́n kó jọ. Àtàwọn Fúlàní agbénipa míì tí wọ́n kó wọlé láti ìlú míì. Àkọ́pọ̀ gbogbo wọn yìí ní 4 million votes tí Miyetti Allah promise. Ni wọ́n ṣe sọ́ra wọn dọ́lọ́hun lé Nigerians lórí báyìí. Wọ́n ṣe sọ́ra wọn dọ́lọ́hun lé Yorùbá lórí tí wọ́n sọ̀sọ̀kúsọ lẹ́nu tí ó sẹ́ tó lè gbé wọn. Mọ́ tún tí Miyetti Allah ti pánú ọdún yìí nìkan. Àwọn kan ṣò ní wọ́n jáde ní wọ́n ní wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ supply oúnjẹ sílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọn kan ṣò ní àìmọye tó ti sọ, àìmọye governors tó ti bú tó ní kó gbẹnu sọ́hùn tó lẹ̀ sí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Àwọn ẹni tó ti pè wọ́n sí o, wọ́n ní kí wọ́n pè wọ́n terrorist group, ẹjá máa wo tó fẹ́ ṣe. Bóyá máa pè wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí wọ́n ní pè wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn olóṣèlú wa náà nítorí pé wọ́n ti believe pé àwọn ni wọ́n máa jẹ́ káwọn wọlé. Wọ́n ti rí north bí ọ̀gá. Mo ní fídíò kan bí tí mo fẹ́ ká wò. Ẹ gbọ́ analysis tọmọkùnrin give. Ó ní 1976 tí mi bá ṣì. Ó ní pé ni wọ́n dá Lagos State àti Kano State sílẹ̀. Ó nígbà tó yá ó sọ iye local government tí wọ́n dálẹ̀ sí Lagos State, ó dẹ̀ sọ iye local government tí wọ́n dálẹ̀ sí Kano State. Ó nígbà tó máa fi di 1999 ọlọ́run o bí state méjì mẹ́ta mẹ́rin ó ti ń yọ láti Kano, inú ẹ̀ ní Zamfara kọ̀ọ̀kan wà, wọ́n ní local government wá lọ bí ọlọ́run, ṣùgbọ́n iye 20 local government wọ́n fún Lagos State náà ló wà, ipò tí Lagos State wà láti gbà ẹ̀ náà ló wà dèní. Wọ́n wá fi lébù ara wọn páwọn làwọn pọ̀ jù, àwọn làwọn ní lógún, tó bá máa wá pín nǹkan wá ní kọ́ pín ní population by population. Ẹjẹ́ agbọ́n tọmọkùnrin yẹn sọ àti bó ṣe analẹ́ kò dùn lẹ́nu tèmi torí èmi kan mo sọ. Ẹjẹ́ agbọ́n tọmọkùnrin yẹn sọ kẹ́ lè mọ ibi tí títì yẹn ti ń bọ̀ fún Yorùbá, ká lè mọ ibi tí títì yẹn ti ń bọ̀ fáwa Yorùbá.
This which you know, 1967, that was when Lagos State was created. Lagos State there was nothing like Lagos State when we had regional government. So when Igbo talks shit, sometimes I just laugh at them. 1967, Lagos State was created with 20 local government. You see, when you talk about Lagos State, you know it's Ijebu land. Ikorodu, Epe, it's actually Ijebu land. Understand? Lagos created in 1967 with 20 local government. In the same 1967, Northwest State was created with 20 local government. Northwest State in Hausa Fulani land. In the same 1967, Kano State was created with about 16 local government. 1967. So 3 states. Lagos with 20 local government, Northwest State with 20 local government, Kano State with about 16 local government in 1967. By 1991, 1967 to 1991, by 1991, Lagos State remains one single state with 20 local government. Northwest State had been divided into 4 states: Sokoto State, Niger State, Kebbi State, and Zamfara State. Northwest State. From 20 local government in 1967, Northwest State became 83 local governments by 1991. Kano State, that was created in 1967 as one single state, by 1991 it became 2 states. Kano State, that had less than about 16 local government in 1967, has 71 local government by 1991. So the Fulani who created all these states then put in the Constitution of Nigeria that you are going to take Yoruba money to Abuja, you are going to take Igbo money to Abuja, you are going to take Hausa Fulani money to Abuja, and when this money gets to Abuja, you will share it back to where it was collected according to number of states, according to number of local government, according to land mass, and according to population. This is fraud. Believe you me, if Black Americans try this kind of constitution with white Americans will kill all the blacks in America, believe you me. If the Scottish, you know they are minority, if the Scottish try this with the English in Britain, the English will kill all the Scottish. But minority Fulani created more states to themselves, more local government to themselves, and put it in the constitution. Minority. They then put it in the constitution that you will take money from Yoruba land, take money from Igbo land, take money from Hausa Fulani land, and you share it according to number of states, according to number of local government, according to land mass, according to population. And they have all of these 4. They have more than the Yoruba, yet they are not contributing anything. And Yoruba cannot fight it. So the world see the Yoruba nation as the definition of enslaved people. We have closed mind. Our education is terrible. Education that you have no sense of history is worst form of education. Yoruba are not really brilliant, because what makes you to be brilliant is for you to know your history. But when you have no clue about your history, you can have PhD, but you are useless. You are totally useless. Every time we just want to support African America because they are black, because we have the same skin color with them, but we are forgetting the fact that African America in the United States are minorities, and minorities are always subjugated. That is the truth. But we want to fight and support them. But minority Fulani are subjugating majority Yoruba in Nigeria. Who is fighting to help us? We're terrible in our sense of education.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ olóṣèlú, ẹ súnmọ́ bí mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. Tẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ olóṣèlú lẹ Yorùbá ni o. I am talking to Yorubas that are politicians now. In tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí kílẹ̀ yìí náà rí sí. Tí wọ́n bá náà máa kí stéètì lénìí. Stéètì kan wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí tó jẹ́ pé tá a bá fún wọn ní 3-4 state a ò pọ́n. Stéètì yìí òun náà ní Ọ̀yọ́ state. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé gbà kan pàápàá tí ìbá sí pé jà ni Ọ̀yọ́ state ẹyọ kan ní tẹ́lẹ̀ ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti gé Ọ̀ṣun local government kan péré ni wọ́n gbé kúrò yẹn tó fi ṣe odidi state Ọ̀ṣun state. Wọ́n ti gé Ọ̀ṣun Ìbàdàn nìkan tó gba state lódindi tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tí wọ́n ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ṣe ní Kánò wọ́n ṣe ní náà Kánò tó ṣe ní North ni wọ́n ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá Ìbàdàn yẹn nìkan ti tó gba state. Gbogbo ẹnu ni mo fi sọ. Ìbàdàn ó tó fún state kan lọ́tọ̀ àwọn a máa claim superiority lé wa lórí àwọn a máa sọ pé àwọn pọ̀ jù wá lọ local government àwọn pọ̀ jù wá lọ ẹ lọ ká àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní senate local government tó ti wá ló pọ̀ jù àwọn tó wà House of Reps rather iye kan náà ní the senate láti state kọ̀ọ̀kan ṣùgbọ́n state mélòó ló wá láti north state mélòó ló wá láti south local government mi wà tó jẹ́ pé state mi wà tó jẹ́ pé kò yẹ kó ju local government lọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n fún wọn lódidi state lọ́hùn ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú yìí dẹ̀ làjúlẹ̀ wò wọ́n ní kọ̀ọ̀kan tẹ́ ẹ lè sọ sí ní kọ̀ọ̀kan tẹ́ ẹ lè ṣe bó kọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ń pọ̀ mọ́ wọn lẹ́yìn ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́ nǹkan tí gọ́fìnà Kaduna sọ lénìí ó ní ẹ fi South lẹ̀ jẹ́ kí wọ́n jẹ president ọdún mẹ́jọ wọn tó fẹ́ jẹ káwọn rí ẹnìkan nú wọn mi ìrántí orúkọ ẹ̀ mọ̀ mo kà lánàá tó sọ pé bí property ẹ̀ jẹ́ president ọ̀hún ṣe báwọn náà làwọn máa control wọn. Can you imagine that? Wọn ò bẹ̀rù wọn rárá wọ́n ti ríra wọn bí ọ̀gá wọ́n ti ríra wọn bí ẹni pé àwọn làwọn lead wọ́n ti ríra wọn bí ẹrú sí ọ̀gá ẹ̀. Kí dẹ̀ ni ọgbọ́n jìbìtì náà ni ọgbọ́n pé Yorùbá ò rẹ́dí láti béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ ni. That is just what is happening. They've seen themselves as the leaders and we as the slaves. There are a lot of things they are cheating us on in this country. Ibadan alone supposed to be state. Okeogun supposed to have a whole state. Ibarapa supposed to have a whole state. Ibadan supposed to have a whole state. Then Oyo. If we say we should do it the way they are doing it in the north, we will remove 4 states from Oyo state alone. Come to Ogun state. If Ogun state, if we create 2 states from Ogun state, it's not too much. Lagos state, if we are to do what they did in Kano to Lagos state, at least we will carve 3 states out of Lagos state. But today, they were creating it to themselves and undermining us in the south here. Adẹ̀wò adẹ̀rò pé nǹkan yẹn normal. Èmi tún retí ìjọ míì tí wọ́n tún máa announce the state. Ẹ̀rí iye tó máa pín fún náà tẹ̀rí iye tó máa pín fún wa bí. Mélòó ni local government wọ́n ṣàfàrà? Ẹgbẹ́ local government míì jẹ́ ìwòná kojú dùgbẹ̀sí gbági lọ. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mọ̀ Ìbàdàn tó jẹ́ pé kò lẹ́mọ̀ kojú Múṣí ó tiẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù Múṣí Ṣóṣòdì gan ti jìnnà jù kojú Olóòṣà sí Múṣí lọ ọjẹ́ sọ pé Múṣí sí Sùúrùlérè local government tó dídé kan tí wọ́n create nìkan nílẹ̀ Haúsá state tí wọ́n dẹ̀ máa pè ní state ó lè jẹ́ gbogbo Múṣí yẹn nìkan náà máa fi ṣe odidi state kan nílẹ̀ Haúsá wọ́n dẹ̀ máa pè state wọ́n dẹ̀ create local government àwọn náà dẹ̀ gọ̀gọ̀gọ̀ àdẹ̀ máa wò we are applauding them. Wọ́n ti wá ríra wọ́n sì bí ọ̀gá wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ja ìjàbalẹ̀ wa lórí sí. Ó yá wọn lẹ́nu láti pé Biafra ọ̀nà Biafra mi mọ̀ wọn mi mọ̀ ń pa wọn kò sí tó kọ́ mi pẹ̀lú wọn àmọ́ èyí tó kọ èmi ni kí security wà nílùú yìí ṣùgbọ́n yá wọn lẹ́nu láti pé Biafra ní terrorist group but ó nira fún wọn láti pé Miyetti Allah ní terrorist group ó rí ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rùn fún wọn tí bá sí pé agbóhùnsókè abẹ̀sí ní sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n ń sọ láti òkè òkun ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ láti diaspora ìwọ̀nba wa náà tá ń sọ ń bí tí kì í bá ṣe yẹn ni by now bá ti pa àwọn tó sọ tí wọ́n ń kọlù fún self determination ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n bá ti pè wọ́n ní terrorist. Had they been, we allow them. Bóyá arẹ́ ni fún Bubu lọ́wọ́ pé ó bá dánrú ẹ̀ wò ayé àdàrú o ló ṣe sì panu mọ́. He meant it when he said it. Tó ní gbogbo Niners ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà àwọn máa proscribe wọn àwọn máa sọ wọ́n di terrorist group. This is what we have. The kind of cheating is just too high. Ẹjọ́ kò síbẹ̀ ilé ìṣèjọba. Kò sí security kò sí kan àwọn èèyàn ń kú lọ́tún wọ́n ń kú lósì ẹ wo ilé àwọn ẹni yẹn wo ilé àkú ilé yẹn bó ṣe rí ẹ wo báwọn èèyàn ṣe wà lùbànújẹ́ máa yẹ kàn kúkú sàrà bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀dẹ̀ 20 million tán náà gbé yẹn tán gbélé lórí tán bá wà lọ wà bọ̀ tán bá róní tàn gan kí lẹ máa gbọ́ tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ lé lórí àwọn ara wọn náà ló máa jẹ́ tó bá jẹ́ Ìgbò ni àwọn tó ń lò náà ni tó bá sì jẹ́ Fúlàní àwọn yóò ti ẹ̀ lọ́rọ̀ kò sí ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ gbé wọn dé police station wọ́n máa fi wọ́n lẹ̀ ni kí lẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀ tó gbẹ̀yìn wákìlì pẹ̀lú tútọ́ ọmọkùnrin yẹn pa ṣóṣẹ̀ yẹ kọ́ máa retí pé ó yẹ kọ́ lọ tì mọ́lé ẹ tó yẹ kọ́ ní kọ́ lọ padà nù tó ti pa gbèjégbèjọ tó ti pa ìmọ́yé yet nothing happens. This is what we are saying, that in this country there is nothing like security. The security is zero. If anybody, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised. Ṣebí ìlú iná làwà. So the first minister fi sọ pé let everybody secure him or herself. The same country we are. Ìjọ wo ni America the first minister máa jáde tó wá sọ pé the Americans defend yourself níbo? The man said it. Late June ló ti sọ. Only these people will come, they will shoot sporadically on the air. You will start panic. Only don't panic again. Equip yourself and face them. The first minister. Because àwọn náà ti rí pé kí ní ti bọ́. Kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan tó jẹ́ kó rí tó báyìí torí pọ́njọ jẹ́ Fúlàní ni. Torí pọ́njọ jẹ́ Fúlàní ni. Bí gbogbo pípẹ́ táwọn èèyàn yìí pè nísìn ètò dèmi lójú ni pé ẹ gbàgbé ẹ̀. Bẹ̀kìrí kan ni mo fẹ́ kó yé wa tí ó bá dé ojú ṣúṣú fùrọ̀ máa là tó bá dé ojú ṣúṣú fùrọ̀ là in táwọn èèyàn béèrè yìí tí wọn ò bá fún wọn tó dèmi lójú ni pé ìlú yìí ò tí lè rọgbọ. Everybody were calling, give us our freedom, let us go. Approve the referendum, give us the referendum, we want to go. Nínú òfin Nàìjíríà gan wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn tó amalgamate wa wọ́n sọ ye years tí amalgamation ẹ máa fi expire, and they told us. Kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn yẹn ó ti expire ti pẹ́. But in tí ò ṣe fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n release wa ojú pé tí wọ́n bá tí Yorùbá bá lọ pẹ́rẹ́ lénìí mo fọlọ́ búra náà tà jẹ bastard yà ṣé lẹ́lẹ́ yẹ pẹ̀ desert mo fò bóyá fẹ́ dredge omi wa lọ sí ọ̀hún ni torí nígbà tí wọ́n lọ establish naval base sí Kano ká máa wá wò bóyá fẹ́ gbé òkun bóyá fẹ́ gbé lọ sí Kano ní ká wò Ọ̀sà bóyá máa ṣí lọ ní ẹmọ yìí òkun tó wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ Bábìṣì wà ń bẹ̀ àtàwọn omi tó kù tó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn àwọn south náà rí ìkàndé bá torí Port Harcourt wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ lọ tí ẹ̀ ní ẹjọ́ omi wo ló wà nílẹ̀ Haúsá o kódà agriculture on practice irrigation agriculture on practice wọ́n á gbẹ́ ilẹ̀ omi wọ́n á rí omi nù lẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá ń tọ́ bá lè rí ìbí kẹrin wọ́n á gbẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n máa bá wọn pọ́ǹpù omi sínú ẹ̀ nígbà tó jẹ́lẹ̀ aṣáko ni wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé tí Yorùbá bá lọ lé ní ìyá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sáwọn ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ rówó vat tán fẹ́ kúlé lórí ẹ̀rí owó vat tán fẹ́ kúlé lórí ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ gbé fàtì ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa dàgbà kọ́ máa kó wọ̀ l'Àbújá nítorí kán lè jọ pé àwa ṣiṣẹ́ bí akúra ń bì ẹ gba tax lọ́wọ́ wa ẹ wá kó lọ sọ́hùn ẹ wá fún wa ní ẹ fún wa ní peanut àwa lọ náà wọ́n ti ẹ̀sọ́ kankan lẹ́nìí tó mórí o torí bí wọ́n bá ṣe eré ká sọ o wọ́n ṣe ẹyọ kan lẹ́nìí o ẹ̀yin ọkọ ìyàwó ẹ mà kó ríire ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ federal civil servant tó federal executive council wọ́n ní wọ́n ti approve paternity leave leave fún ọkọ ìyàwó tíyàwó ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bímọ wọ́n lọ máa lọ leave jọ mẹ́rìnlá 14 days kò tí wáyé mi bóyá 14 working days àbí 14 days generally ni so wọ́n ti approve ẹ̀ àsàtẹ̀lẹ̀ tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n ti approve paternity leave ṣẹ́nikẹ́ni tíyàwó ẹ̀ bá ti bímọ tó lè jẹ́ federal civil servant bóyá àwọn state náà máa wá adopted àti ilé sọ̀rọ̀ but ẹnikẹ́ni tíyàwó ẹ̀ bá ti bímọ tó bá jẹ́ federal civil servant wọ́n máa fún òun náà ní paternity leave chief of staff federal chief of staff ló sọ lónìí pé wọ́n ti approve paternity leave bí ṣe ní mi wà mọ̀ bóyá ó wà nú ẹ̀ o ìbá sọ pé dáadáa tí mo rí inú gọ́fìmẹ̀ntì ẹyọ kan ṣo tí mo tún rí tó tún kún rè torí pé ìyàwó nìkan ló máa dágbé dáfá nígbàtí ọkọ ẹ̀ bá nígbàtí ìyàwó bá bímọ nígbà ọkọ bá ti lọ bí iṣẹ́ àmọ́ nísìn wọ́n ti approve pé federal civil servant tó tíyàwó ẹ̀ bá ti bímọ tàbí wọ́n lọ adopt ọmọ pàápàá tí ò tí ju ọmọ oṣù lọ tó jọmọ òkókó bẹ́ẹ̀ tó lọ adopt ọmọ wọn náà máa fún ọkọ ní paternity leave tó bá ti lè prove ẹ̀ so èmi rí kórìíre ńlá ló jẹ́ fún ẹ̀yin òṣìṣẹ́ ẹ tún lè lo àsìkò yẹn láti ṣe run around wọn láwọn fẹ́ kí ọmọ yín kó mọ̀ yín dáadáa ẹ ní wọ́n bá wa ṣe yẹn dáadáa àmọ́ ìtókù ní kí wọ́n san owó àwọn olówó àwọn pensioners àtàwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ sálárì káàkiri kí wọ́n san owó wọn ìwọ̀nba àwọn dókítà péréje tó kù ní Nàìjíríà ẹ wọ́n ṣe ń dà wọ́n ríboríbo kò sí nǹkan tó lè kò sí solution sọ̀rọ̀ ìlú ìjú pé it is not possible àwa nìkan dẹ̀kọ́ la máa kọ́ ṣe irú ẹ̀ nílùú yìí a lot of people out there ẹ lọ sí England Scotland England mo gbọ́ pé wọ́n wà papọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti di country ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ a lot of countries like that Catalonia àbí kí ló ń pa àwọn yẹn ní Spain àwọn yẹn náà ti láwọn fẹ́ yà kó lára Spain sí wọn dẹ̀ torí ẹnìkan lọ gbé ẹnikẹ́ni sádọ̀wò sátìmọ̀lé nú wọn ṣe violently àwọn ìjọba náà dẹ̀ nìkan lọ gbé wọn. If these people say they want to go, why don't you release them? The cost of governance for every one of us is too much. It's too much. And cheating ló jẹ́ lórí ìran kan. Tí ìran kan bá ti rí rẹ̀ bí ẹni tó fẹ́ jẹ gàba lórí ìran kejì. Ó ti di wàhálà, ó ti di ogun, ó ti dọ̀tẹ̀. If they say they want to go, release them, let them go. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo chief of staff ti federal níbi tí wọ́n ti announce paternity leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, we presented today the memo on the revised public service rules. We are all aware that the public service rules are an all-important tool in the public service. It's what governs the actions of public servants at work. The last time these rules were revised was in 2008, and so we recognize that the revision was long overdue, and so we put everything that we got into it to ensure that we did the revision. These rules ideally are supposed to be revised every 5 years, but this has taken more than that for us to get the revised PSR 2021. It also gotten approval to include paternity leave. This is something that is new, and this is something that the unions in the service asked that we include, and luckily we've been able to include it. We've also been able to ensure that leave now is calculated based on working days. Paternity leave is the leave that is approved for men when their spouses or wives have given birth to a newborn baby, or if the husband and wife have just adopted a baby of less than 4 months, then the man is entitled to paternity leave of about 14 days. So that is what has been approved for men, so that the men and their babies also can bond well together. It's important because we want the young children and the youth really to bond properly with their fathers, just as they bond well with their mothers. So this is a time that has been approved now for men to bond at the early stages, especially at the early stages of a child's life. That is when it's very important for this bonding to take place.
Mo sọ pé congratulations sí gbogbo ọkùnrin tó sì níyàwó tíyàwó wọn dẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bímọ tó jẹ́ federal civil servant. Ẹ̀yin state governors, irú ilé ìwú wa kẹ́yìn náà kẹ́ bá wa extend ẹ̀ sí àárín wa. Èmi ò ṣe federal civil servant o, kódà mi ṣe civil servant. Ọlọ́run á yọ́nú sí wa. Ẹ má gbàgbé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, mi ò rántí sọ torí pé mò ń kánjú. Mo fẹ́ tètè present ní tẹ́yìn èèyàn sọ mo fẹ́ ṣe correction yẹn. Ẹ wo bí tí wọ́n kọ subscribe sí. Ẹ bá wa tẹ̀ ẹ́. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti tẹ̀ ti dára wa. Bákan náà ni pé ẹ wo bí tí wọ́n fi àmì aago sí yẹn, notification bell náà pè. Bí mo ti ṣe ń sọ tó yìí, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kan subscribe wọn tẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀lì yẹn. Wọ́n ṣe máa ń bi mí léèrè pé kí ni latest. Ẹni tó bá subscribe tí ó bá tẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀lì yẹn kò ní rí notification pé mo ti ju fídíò síta. Ìdí tẹ́ gbọ́dọ̀ subscribe ń sìn ni wípé lágbára Ọlọ́run láti inú October tá fẹ́ mú lọ́la yìí, ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rí àrà tuntun ní inú gbàgede Mọ̀ṣánẹ̀ táwà. Àkọ́kọ́ náà àti di BGI TV, Bàbá Gbàgede Mọ̀ TV, full TV, full television station, gbogbo programs tó ń ṣe nínú television stations lẹ́ẹ̀ máa wò kedere. Kì í ṣe program tèmi nìkan mọ́, a ti la program lẹ̀ lóríṣiríṣi numerous programs. A dẹ̀ ti fa àwọn days sí ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́, ìròyìn péréte bó ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní yàdóyàdó, ìròyìn gbóná, ẹ máa gbọ́ bó ti ṣe gbóná fẹlifẹli, àjábalẹ̀ ìròyìn oríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ máa gbọ́. Ìyàtọ̀ sùn tèmi present àwọn sport ẹ̀fẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ́ tẹ́ láìkéré ìdárayá oríṣiríṣi ló ti wà nílẹ̀ bíbá. Àwọn olófẹ́ play, àwọn olófẹ́ eré náà fẹ́ sá, nǹkan ọkọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ láàmà gbé wá fún yín. Bákan náà ni pé ètò àṣà àti ṣe tiẹ̀ ti wá pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ lẹ̀. Ìdí rèé tó fi yẹ kẹ́ subscribe kẹ́yìn náà lè jẹ àwọn àǹfààní rẹpẹtẹ tá a ti kólẹ̀ nínú Bàbá Gbàgede Mọ̀ TV, BGI TV yìí. Bá a ti ń ṣètò òyìnbó láàmà ṣe ti Yorùbá. Irú tẹ́yìn èèyàn fi comment pé we like your program but we don't hear your language. Ẹ fọkànbalẹ̀ program yìí ń bọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ. News in English, news in Yorùbá, méjèèjì lẹ́ máa gbọ́. Ìkan ti ẹ̀wà láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù tá a pè ní àfẹ̀mọ́júmọ́. Nínú ẹ̀ wá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí Yorùbá, wá sọ ti English. Wọ́n á interview àwọn èèyàn ní Yorùbá, wá sọ interview àwọn èèyàn ní tó gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ máa enjoy. Ni mo ṣe ń fàsìkò yìí pé ẹ̀yin onílé iṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti onílé iṣẹ́ kéréje, ẹ̀yin oníṣòwò pàtàkì, ẹ wá bá wa dòwò pọ̀ lórí BGI TV wa yìí. Ẹ pè nọ́mbà mi, ẹ fún wa ní ẹ jẹ́ ká bá yín advertise ọjà yín, ká bá yín gbé sáyé. Gbàgbéjì àwọn èèyàn tó wò wá káàkiri ayé, wọ́n á gbọ́ nípa yín, wọ́n á gbọ́ nípa ọjà yín. Ọ́fíìsì lẹ́yìn níní tí ẹ̀ ń ṣe services àbí goods lẹ́yìn tà, ìta lè fojú rí lẹ́yìn tà ni. Ẹ̀ ń gbé mọ́tò wọlé, ẹ̀ ń bá wọn fowó pamọ́, ẹ̀ ń gbowó ni. àwọn èèyàn tó fẹ́ gbowó lókè òkun àbí tó fẹ́ fowó ránṣẹ́ lẹ́yìn bá dìrù ẹ pè wá ká bá yín gbé sáyé àbí ẹ̀yin ta nǹkan ni ẹ̀yin ní nǹkan tẹ̀ ń tà ẹ pè wá ká bá yín gbé sáyé ètò tó wá pa bámbárì ẹ láyẹyẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe ẹ fẹ́ ṣe tòkú àgbà ẹ fẹ́ ṣe tìkómọ ẹ fẹ́ ṣe tìgbéyàwó bí ti àyàbá yín wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n sì gbé sáyé gbogbo ayé lẹ fẹ́ kó rí àgbà yín gbé sáyé abẹ́ tí ẹ ní ìkéde pàtàkì kan tẹ́ fẹ́ fún gbogbo ayé àwọn òbá yín kéde àwa ni wọ́n pè ní abólédèfẹ́ lójú tí ẹ bá ti pe bàbá gbàgede mọ̀ fúnra ara ìlé mi fúnra mi màá bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ direct tó bá máa di náà tó bá ọ̀la yìí á fún yín ní nọ́mbà àwọn marketers wa tẹ́ ẹ tún lè pè direct láì pè mí tẹ́ ẹ bá rè mí pè à ń ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí lọ́wọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run ìdí rẹ̀ tá a fi ní kẹ́ subscribe fún wa kẹ́ ẹ darapọ̀ gbogbo tí wọ́n ṣe lórí TV lẹ́ẹ̀máa wò kedere láti inú October yìí a ti di bìbà àwa náà a ti rẹ́dì fún yín oríṣiríṣi láti kó sínú stúdíò wa yìí ẹ ríran wò ẹ rí pé nǹkan kì í síbẹ̀ ẹsẹ̀ rà wò ẹ bó ti rínú àti rẹ́dì ẹ fọkànbalẹ̀ tó níyanṣẹ́ ọlọ́kàṣe o gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá wa fìfẹ́ wo tèmi náà gbogbo yín náà lákì etí tẹ́ fi ń wò mí ò ní di ojú tẹ́ sì etí tẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ mi ò ní di ojú tẹ́ sì fi ń wò mí ò ní fọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo fàsìkò yìí kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ mi tẹ́ wá káàkiri ayé ìfẹ́ tẹ́ kú ní sí mi kò ní dìbànújẹ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ ní rí mi kẹ́ máa bínú sí mi mọ́ ẹ ní rí mi kẹ́ máa bànújẹ́ sí mi mọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe rí mi tínú yín dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lẹ́ máa rí mi tínú yín ó máa dùn lọ́lọ́run ó sì máa fi dùnnú náà sí gbèsè ayé tí yín náà àtàwọn ọmọ yín gbogbo yín mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ ṣe gan o èmi ọmọ yín náà ní o Adébáyọ̀ Sàbúrì Aláwìyé ọmọ bàbá tíṣà lábẹ́òkúta tẹ́ ń pè ní bàbá gbàgede ló fàsìkò yìí sọ fún wa pé láyọ̀